Hi, this is Jennifer Matos with the Noah Webster House and West Harford Historical Society, and I'm bringing you the 47th episode of the Armchair Tour of West Hartford history. Today's episode is brought to you by Tsunami Solutions. Today, I'm off of Albany Avenue on Avon Mountain at the site of Renbrook School. Originally, Renbrook was not a school, but rather the estate of the aviation industrialist Frederick Rentschler. Today I'll be telling you more about Rentschler's legacy and how the estate became the site of Renbrook School. Renbrook School started as an idea in 1935. 7 like-minded families wishing to establish a progressive learn-by-doing school, like that established by educator John Dewey, met in the living room of Mr. and Mrs. John Lee of Farmington, Connecticut. The group, which also included George Meade, one of the founders of Pratt and Whitney, and his wife Carrie, founded the Tungus School, named in recognition of the Native American tribe that was local to the Connecticut River Valley. The school was housed in an old Victorian home at 2431 Albany Avenue in West Hartford, originally with 3 teachers and 17 students aged 3 to 9. The school grew under the guidance of headmistress Florence Green, who would work at the school for 32 years. In less than 1 year, enrollment had increased enough to require a change of locations. The school moved to a large house at the corner of Farmington and Outlook Avenues and was renamed the Junior School. At this point, there were 39 students enrolled. Unfortunately, neither of these first 2 sites of the school exist today. In 1937, enrollment had grown to 69 students, and the school purchased a lot of land at 950 Trout Brook Road, where they built a new 6-classroom school. In the spring of 1938, the teachers painted all of the furniture a shade of blue that is still seen on the campus today. With West Hartford's population boom in the 1940s and 50s, enrollment at the junior school continued to grow to a point that the school built in 1937 became too small. Headmistress Green and the school's trustees jumped at an opportunity that was presented by the estate of Frederick Rentschler. Frederick Brant Rentschler was born on November 8, 1887 in Hamilton, Ohio, to German-American immigrants. George and Phoebe Rentschler owned the Republic Motor Car Company that built Republic cars from 1910 to 1916. The family built a mansion in Hamilton, Ohio in 1901 that is today a historic site that is called the Rentschler House. Growing up in this privileged environment, Frederick Rentschler graduated from Princeton University in 1909 and worked in his family's businesses as a molder and a machinist. He joined the United States Army when the U.S. entered World War I in 1917 and achieved the rank of captain, where he spent his days in Brunswick, New Jersey, inspecting aircraft engines at the Wright-Martin plant, which had gotten its start in 1916 by the Wright brothers. This was a transformative experience for Rentschler, who left the Army with the understanding that the aircraft of the future would need lighter-weight engines that were more powerful and reliable. After the war, Rentschler worked building aircraft for the Wright Company, which produced liquid-cooled engines. He married a woman named Faye Belden in July of 1921, whom he knew from his childhood in Ohio. The couple moved to New Jersey, where Rentschler came up with the idea of an air-cooled engine as opposed to the liquid-cooled engines of the day. He would go on to become the president of the company he worked at during the war, now called the Wright Aeronautical Corporation. He wanted the company to invest in the research of the air-cooled engine idea, but the board disagreed. He resigned as president in 1924, taking with him Wright's chief engineer, George Meade. The high-powered air-cooled aircraft engine they invented together was pitched to the U.S. Navy, which promised to purchase it. Through his brother, Rentschler learned about the Pratt and Whitney Machine Tool Company in Hartford, Connecticut, which at the time had excess space and excess capital. In July of 1925, the directors of Pratt & Whitney Machine Tool Company agreed to fund the development of the large air-cooled engine that Rentschler and Meade had invented. They created the Pratt & Whitney Aircraft Company, in which Rentschler and Meade had a controlling position. With Pratt & Whitney backing him, Rentschler could finally develop the prototype for his innovative engine and begin mass production. The engine Rentschler had dreamed up was completed in December of 1925 and named the Wasp by Faye Rentschler, his wife. It passed the Navy's qualification test, and they placed an initial order of 200 engines. The Wasp engine's speed, climb performance, and reliability would transform American aviation forever. In 1927, Frederick and Faye Rentschler moved into a Tudor Revival residence at 1844 Albany Avenue in West Hartford. The house was designed by architect Milton E. Hayman and was located on the north side of Albany, close to its intersection with Prospect Avenue. In the 1930 U.S. Census, the Rentschler property is valued at a staggering $100,000. Among the household is Frederick, age 42, Faye, age 34, daughters Helen and Anne, age 3 and 2, an Irish maid, an Irish cook, and a nursemaid who tended the children. In 1931, the Rentschlers built an even more impressive house located further west on Albany Avenue on Avon Mountain. They named the estate Renbrook, the Ren coming from Rentschler, and the brook from the body of water that ran through the property. The mansion was designed in a French chateau style under the careful direction of Faye Rentschler. The goal of the estate was to establish an old world look. The home was intentionally designed to look old. For instance, they created a wavy look on the old roof by placing boards under the roof tile. The use of alternating brick, patterned, and white stone created squares that looked like a checkerboard on the facade of the house. Renbrook was designed for entertaining, and inside guests would be greeted by a very grand great hall, a wing of the mansion containing living quarters, a ballroom, and boudoir, also a garden room, was torn down before the beginning of World War II. But many original features of the house still exist, including Faye Rentschler's powder room, a wood-paneled dining room, and a sunroom that overlooks the property. The bathrooms have custom faucet heads designed to look like propellers, imitating the shape of Rentschler's famous Wasp engine. In 1929, Rentschler and his associates split from the Pratt & Whitney Machine Tool Company, though they were able to keep the name Pratt & Whitney Aircraft Company. Rentschler joined forces with William Boeing to create the United Aircraft and Transport Corporation, which completed a coast-to-coast passenger flight network the same year. United Aircraft and Transport Corporation split up in 1934. Rentschler took his half, headquartered in Hartford, Connecticut, and called it United Aircraft Corporation, of which Pratt & Whitney Aircraft was a wing. After World War II, Rentschler led his companies to be a leading producer of jet engines. The Rentschler family lived in both the Renbrook estate and at a southern getaway in Boca Raton, Florida, until 1953. Faye Rentschler died at the age of 58 in March of 1953 while in West Palm Beach, Florida. She was buried in her family's plot in Cincinnati, Ohio. Rentschler served as the president of United Aircraft until his death on April 25, 1956 in Boca Raton. He's buried in West Hartford's Fairview Cemetery. In 1975, the United Aircraft Corporation became known as United Technologies. In 1957, the estate of Frederick B. Rentschler announced it would lease the family home with 48 acres of land to a worthy not-for-profit institution. Junior School, which had been established by Rentschler's business associate George Meade, applied for the opportunity. Selected first among 18 applicants, the school was awarded the rental of the Albany Avenue home at $1 per year. In appreciation, the junior school renamed itself Renbrook, the original name of the Rentschler estate. In January of 1958, the school moved to its current location at 2865 Albany Avenue. Within 10 years, the enrollment grew to 470 and the program expanded to carry students through grade 9. In 1996, the Faye Rentschler Foundation merged with Renbrook School. Today, Renbrook School enrolls almost 400 students from more than 35 cities and towns in Connecticut and Massachusetts. It celebrated its 80th anniversary in the 2015-2016 school year. Pratt & Whitney's former company airfield, located in East Hartford, Connecticut, was named Rentschler Field in honor of Frederick E. Rentschler. The airfield was decommissioned in 1995, and the land it was on was donated to the state of Connecticut in 1999. A stadium, also called Rentschler Field, was built on the site and opened in 2003 as the home field for the University of Connecticut's football team. A special thanks to Tsunami Solutions for sponsoring this episode of the Armchair Tour of West Hartford History. The Armchair Tour of West Hartford History series is also brought to you with support from the Vernon D. and Florence E. Russa Foundation Memorial Fund. I hope you learned something new. We'll see you next week.